Hello lovely people, hope you're doing well, and today we're gonna review Star Wars from 1977. Yes, the title hasn't changed in my opinion, it is still called Star Wars to me. Star Wars, before it became this popular, it had major production problems and it had a rocky start. Let's reminisce to a time where the name Star Wars was just merely an idea, and let's see how Star Wars came to be. Summer 1967, California State University. We see a young George Lucas presenting his thesis. His film was a success. Everyone loved it. A very young and jealous Steven Spielberg approaches him. After that, they chat about becoming great directors in Hollywood one day. They become friends, and the rest is history. The scenes in Star Wars look impeccable till this day. Every scene was crafted to perfection. If you compare the visual effects of Star Wars to any other sci-fi movie, you'll see that the effects still hold up today. Let's compare a scene from The Martian and a scene from Star Wars. You see, both still hold up because both portray space perfectly. Now, it was a great idea that George Lucas began his movie with C-3PO and R2-D2 because we learn so much about those two droids in just a couple of scenes. And then 25 minutes later, then we get introduced to Luke. His first line goes as follows. Well, I was just going to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters. We see his character arc grow throughout the movie and the subsequent movies that follow. Let's talk about the trench run scene. Oh my god, that scene is one of the most intense scenes I've ever seen in any movie. Wow, the starfighters are up against the X-Wings. They're blowing up every X-Wing like if it were popcorn. And right at the last minute, when Darth Vader is closing in to destroy Luke Skywalker, and Skywalker is almost ready to blow up the Death Star, out of nowhere, Han Solo swoops in, takes out Darth Vader, and Luke gets to blow up the Death Star, and we see Tarkin looking like... It's so intense. It's such an intense scene and it's one of the best in the entire movie. Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford didn't take the movie as serious as I thought they would have. The only people that were experienced in this movie, Sir Alec Guinness, rest in peace, and also Peter Cushing, also rest in peace, which both actors gave so much to their characters, to Obi-Wan Kenobi and to Grand Moff Tarkin respectively. Let's talk about the scene where Obi-Wan confronts Darth Vader. Many people say it's too slow and too boring. In my opinion, I think it's an intense scene because so much has happened throughout the story of Star Wars, which we'll talk about in the prequels later, when Darth Vader says, "Now last time I was but the learner, now I am the master." Obi-Wan responds, "Only a master of evil, Darth." And then they start fighting. It's so intense, not only because they swing their lightsabers around, but because there's also dialogue between that fight. And then, as we know, Obi-Wan does die, and then he becomes a Force ghost. Luke receives cryptic messages from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and at first he doesn't seem really focused on those messages. It's after that he recognizes that Obi-Wan Kenobi became a Force ghost. Now let's talk about one of the most evil characters in the entire galaxy. Yes, I'm talking about Darth Vader. When we are introduced to Darth Vader, man, he is so evil and his presence is so dark and so menacing. And when he delivers that line everyone knows. Oh yes, I'm talking about that one.
Commander, tear this ship apart until you found those plans and bring me the passengers. I want them alive!
That's one of the greatest dialogue I've ever seen in a movie. I love that line, and that line has stuck with me until today. Who cannot review a Star Wars movie without talking about John Williams' brilliant music for Star Wars? And that was the secret weapon that brought Star Wars to life. Because without the music by John Williams, Star Wars would have been a boring movie. Even when the executives of Fox Studios saw the first cut of Star Wars without the music, they were bored to death. George Lucas was embarrassed. He wanted a good impression. Now that Star Wars has that iconic music, dun, dun, da, 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 everyone hums that tune till this day. It's so iconic. Man, I love Star Wars. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. And I'm so happy I'm reviewing this one for you guys because I've been waiting to review this one for ages. And of course, Star Wars gets... I hope you enjoyed this awesome review of Star Wars 1977. Please give this review a huge thumbs up and all the good stuff. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and may the Force be with you. I'll see you next time.